Alright fellas, here we are back in Pokemon Masters, and today we're going to be taking a look at the double feature Pokefair Scout for the Psychic type high score event, coming tomorrow. Very fun event. I don't know, I'm not a big person on the high score events. I might upload my battles, I might not. It really just depends on how I'm feeling, but I guess I gotta factor in the fact that there's also no new content, so I'll be I'll be struggling to find something else to record if I don't record this, so... Oh well, whatever. Anyway, so we're going to be looking at the double feature Pokefair Scout here today. Is going to be featuring Signa Suit Dawn and Anniversary May. Two pretty good sync pairs that are going to be rerunning. They got the legendary Pokemon, obviously they're Pokefairs, duh. They both released in 2022, around the time of the 2.5 anniversary. Signa Suit Dawn released in February. Anniversary May was one of the actual anniversary sync pairs. So yeah. Let's go ahead, hop in here, and look at these characters, see how strong they are. They did get upgrades. Anniversary May already had her 5/5 Pokefair tiles from a while ago, back during one of the Ho and Villain Arc reruns, but she got the EX roll, Field, which is pretty good for her. So yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and look at her kit here. So looking at her stats, nothing really too crazy. 356 special attack is pretty good. 353 speed as well, with the 6-star AX, nearly 400 special attacks good. Same thing with speed. Those are your biggest things. But of course, Latias can Mega Evolve, so we have over 427 special attack without the EX, and then 475 special attack with it, as well as over 247 defense. Well, 247 defense, special defense, which is great. 205 defense, which is pretty solid, and about 700 health, which is alright. So yeah, she does get this stuff, and with the Field EX roll, if you do give it to her, she gets more speed, defenses, and some HP. So she gains pretty much everything besides attack stuff, which would help her out more, but still, whatever. That's just, I guess, how these Field EX rolls work. By the way, she gets some pretty good defensive stats, very respectable special attack stat, and very good speed as well. So, good stats all around. Looking at her move, she has Mist Ball, which is a 3-gauge, 110 power move here at 3 out of 5, 120 with 5 out of 5, 50% chance to debuff special attack. She's got Psychic Wish, which is just Psychic Terrain, but obviously it's a trainer move instead because Latias doesn't naturally learn Psychic Terrain in its moveset, so giving it Psychic Wish was the best option. She has X Special Attack All for some special attack support, plus obviously buffing her own special attack, meaning for a tech character she does have that supportive utility there as well. And her trainer move, which applies Gauge Acceleration, raises her defenses by 2, as well as raising her crit by 3, meaning she is fully self-sufficient in buffing her offensive stats, defensive stats by 2, I guess, as well as applying some Gauge Acceleration to the whole team, just providing some good utility and gauge management ability. When she's got her skills here, which the more the target special attack and special defense are lower, the more it powers up the user's moves. I probably should have researched what multiplier this was, because I don't know if it's 30% or 60%, because it's adding two things together. I'm going to go ahead and just say it's probably 30%. Either way, it's good. It's a good multiplier for sure. Mist Ball is pretty low in base power, so definitely getting the powerful nodes to help it out is really good. She's got Psychic Freebie here 9, or Psychic Freebie 9, yeah. I don't know why I had to read that twice. Applying free moves next whenever her attack move is successful in Psychic Terrain, meaning she's just even more gauge efficient, plus her high speed stat, meaning that this character is honestly really good for like a gauge efficiency team, so that's pretty nice. Unexpected benefit times 2, raising the chances of lowering stat values with the additional effects of the user's moves, and then when a stat is lowered, it is lowered by double the stat ranks. So Mist Ball now has a guaranteed chance to debuff special attack, and it becomes -2 instead of -1. This makes her pretty good. This makes her look pretty good, especially at 1 out of 5 here, which in the grid doesn't really have anything. This makes her look good, though. She's got special attack support, she's got her full self-sufficiency and buffing ability, she's got Psychic Terrain, Mist Ball here, as well as some DPS options. And then also in the... yeah, Surging Sand 2. You're definitely going to be running Surging Sand 2 as a lucky skill. Good job, me. Good job, me. Whatever. Also in her nuke here, she has more of the target special attack is lower, the greater the power of this attack. That's a fine sync nuke multiplier, but of course, do factor in, she is a mega sync pair, so the power buff, the power boost from tech is definitely needed, because thank you, Tech EX, or sorry, thank you, Mega Evolution for screwing over sync move power. Either way, this is some good stuff, because this does mean you can obviously pair her with Signa Suit Brendan, who was released like about half a year after her for pretty much a good synergy with each other. These characters are pretty much built to work with each other. He's got the guaranteed special defense drops with the same exact passive, so he's able to debuff special defense by 2, while she's able to debuff special attack by 2. They both synergize extremely well, obviously being Latios and Latios, that was kind of the intent. Brendan's a support, May is the damage dealer. Reversed roles, I guess you could say, because generally Latios is the more defensive one, but either way, it doesn't matter. They both work extremely well together. And just as a Psychic type in general, May is pretty good. She's able to set Psychic Terrain, of course, which is extremely helpful. Better than Bianca, but do consider, of course, Bianca still has good utility with speed buffing, gauge management, and a little bit of bulk as well, so I wouldn't say she outright, well, she definitely does replace Bianca, but, like, it's not as if replacing Bianca is anything that's necessary, rather. She did lose a tiny bit of value, I guess you could say, because Signa Suit Dawn is just a better Psychic Terrain setter, does more damage, or does more consistent damage in general. Psychic Terrain, extends Psychic Terrain, better partner for Signa Suit Lusamine, probably still even a better partner for Signa Suit Steven, despite him and May both being Hoenn, but still. It's not as if May is bad. She's still really strong for sure, and the Field EX roll definitely helped out, because now, instead of having to set Psychic Terrain for her nuke, you can just use the Field EX roll. If you don't want to be supportive with May, and you don't want to bring a support to buff her stats, you could just go for a Trainer move, go for X special attack all twice. You've got +4 special attack, you've got max crit, and then you can go for the Sync nuke, you've got Psychic Terrain up, you're good, right? Which is quite solid. Okay, yeah, on the roll 1. Okay, yeah, I got it. Figured. Whatever. Okay, but yeah, you can go for that. You can go for the Sync move, get the 6-star AX there, or get the Sync move in, get the Mega Evolution, get your stat buffs from that, whatnot, and then spam your Mist Ball, get your special attack debuffs in, power up your next Sync move. You could opt to do that. Field X is definitely not a bad option for her, just because it means you don't have to set Psychic Terrain with her and waste that turn, right? Or you don't have to set it early on, at the very least. Also, one thing to consider, when she is Latios and not Mega Latios, she only has Honor Roll 1, which does guarantee a special attack debuff, but that is not a double special attack debuff, it's just -1. But when she does Mega Evolve, she gets the double, the ability to debuff it by double the amount, so keep that in mind. Either way, I wouldn't say Misty's not Misty. May is super absurd at 1 out of 5. I would say she's good for sure, but nothing exceptionally strong. Special attack debuffing's good, Psychic Terrain's good, special attack support's good, gauge management's nice. But other than that, I wouldn't say she's too absurd. She does gain some good use from dupes. 2 out of 5 doesn't really help her too much. She gets morale boost, and moral support. Big whoop. I mean, it buffs her self-sufficiency and stat buffing, but that's pretty much it, and it's still really not amazing. But 3 out of 5, she gets Brain Teaser, Smarty Pants, Devastation, and Overpower. These are your 2 god nodes, so to speak, right? Very good stuff to pick up. By the way, if you do want to go for some extra grid energy, this means you can pick up May's extra Sync nuke down here, extra Sync node, so you can go for that. That's nice if you do want to do that, but obviously you don't have to, because you can just not pick it up. But she does have Smarty Pants as well as Devastation, which power up her Sync move, giving you an extra 200% in total multipliers, which are easy to work with. All that requires is special defense debuffs as well as special attack debuffs. Again, running her with Brendan is going to get you that extremely easily. And other than that, you can run her with Lucian for special defense debuffs or any other special defense debuffing character. There's a pretty good amount of options that you can look at. I mean, just in this list of Dragon and Psychic, you also have Palatine's Mallow if you do have her. You can make utilization of Palatine's Dawn if you have her. Obviously, she was like the biggest special defense debuffer before Lucian back in the day. I think, anyway. You can go for Penny, who can debuff special defense, Iono debuff special defense. There's a lot of different good characters in today's modern meta that can debuff special defense with pretty good consistency. So getting that aspect of her nuke off without Brendan is not bad, or not too difficult either. And then she has Overpower and Brain Teaser, which are the same thing, but it's for DPS, meaning she's got 60% in total multipliers here, plus the 30/60% for added insult, and then that just means your missed balls are doing even more damage. And this is good stuff to go for. It's not as if going for these strength nodes here, or these DPS or nuke nodes, is going to mess up your grid at all. These other nodes are fine, but they're not really exceptionally worth going for. Psychic Wish NPR is good, but now with the Field EX roll, I don't think it's really that necessary. And then Psychic Wish Propulsion, that's also a pretty good ability, but again, that's just more sync countdown utility, if anything, and it's not really a big necessity to get all of May's stuff off, her nuke and her DPS nodes and whatnot. I don't think the propulsion is really all that absurd to go for. Plus, it's just a lot of energy to spend when you could just be doing extra damage or something else instead. But of course, going for the sync node is a good idea, but I would just recommend going for it with the -5 energy. Just give her the 6 energy, cost 60,000 sync orbs. If you do really like this character, invest in that and you'll be fine. And if you don't want to invest in it, that's fine, right? It's not like it's a massive hindrance to her. She still has a 289 base power sync move after the fact, right? That's fine. That's not bad. that's not a bad sync power. Super Sync is mostly useless. Dismay 2, debuffing special attack on entry is mostly, I mean, that's fine. That's a fine ability for sure, making it faster for you to actually debuff. But to pick that up, you would have to probably sacrifice Overpower or Brain Teaser, which I just probably wouldn't recommend. Probably Brain Teaser, right? Because Overpower would be activated by Dismay. But this does help out activate your nuke faster for Devastation. To be activated faster, you can use Dismay here to do that. But really, I just wouldn't. I would just let May do the debuffing herself, or bring another character that can do it, something like that instead. I just don't think it's worth sacrificing your damage from Brain Teaser and Overpower to power up 20%. You get -2 special attack for a marginally stronger, quicker Devastation. Going into her 4-5 and 5-5 tiles, these are mostly useless. Befuddle 1 sucks. Psychic Wish BOGO is useless because she's already really gauge efficient. Supreme Entry, you don't need to do more super effective damage. She is strong enough as is, and this is only for the first attack essentially, so this is essentially useless anyway. And then Team Healing Entry, really? Gradual healing on entry for all allies? Big whoop, buddy. No. And then Acuity and Unflappable are already, those are like mediocre at best. So yeah, this is what you're sticking with May. She only really wants 3 out of 5 to be exceptionally strong, which she does gain a lot of value from. I think she's fine at 1 out of 5 because the Psychic terrain setting for the Psychic high score event is already quite good, and the debuffing of special attack is already quite solid. But 3 out of 5 helps her a ton because these nodes are extremely strong and make her look a lot stronger. So May looks like a very solid Psychic nuker. 475 special attack is quite good. Field with the Psychic terrain extension is also quite good. My only real complaint with this character would be that you want to nuke with her probably first sync move. You could do it second sync move, that's fine as well, but I feel like you would probably want to do it first sync move. So in that aspect, you would need a support to buff her crit, mostly just her crit, right? Or not her crit, her special attack. Because you could use her trainer move turn 1, that's not really a big issue. Then you could use Mist Ball twice, get that'd be -2 special attack, wouldn't it? Because she is only on a roll. Yeah, that's kind of her issue, is that you kind of want to sync first, probably with her, but then getting all the special defense and special attack debuffs in that quickly is a little bit difficult to do, so that would probably be the biggest issue to try and get around with her. But I mean, you can also just counter that by using a support EX sync move first and then using May's nuke, which at that point you'll be fine, right? You'll have probably used Psychic Wish, you'll have debuffed the enemy's special attack by like 4 or 5 at that point. You'll probably have another character debuff special defense by a good amount as well, so most of her nuke will probably be activated by the second sync move, so that's not really too big of an issue. So either way though, she's good. She's another Psychic terrain option, which is quite good because Bianca and I guess Beyond, if you were able to pick it up, are your only other free options, and then there's Signa Suit Dawn who released as well, so that's quite good. And sure, Steven, yeah, great. And I guess Variety Elio. But the Variety Elio's got his own problems, so I wouldn't really rely on him too much. But yeah, either way, overall, good, strong Psychic nuker. Going into Signa Suit Dawn here, she was released for the second half of the Sinnoh villain arc, and she's a support sync pair with Cresselia, and her the buffs that she got was her 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5 Pokefair tiles, and 2 out of 5, I guess, with Lith and Flameproof, as well as the Sprint EX roll, which is very good as well. Dawn is a very solid support. Very solid in general. Looking at her stats, 6-star EX, she has 347 speed, 308 special defense and defense, and 779 health. These are fine stats around the board, especially because on her trainer move, she's able to raise the defenses and crit of all allies by 2. So she's got good crit support as well as defensive support, though she does take 30% of HP in damage, which can be a bad thing in some battles, but she also has Fortify 3, which increases her defenses by 30% when HP is at half or below. So these defenses go from like 308 to about 400, plus obviously having the defense buffs from using her trainer move as well. So those are pretty good defensive stats. And obviously, Fortify, like, just having her defenses be raised at 300. Like, let's assume that Fortify isn't activated. She still has about base 300 defenses with defensive buffs from her trainer move, right? So that's not bad. It's not like it's horrible defenses. It's not like she's going to die to, like, one fucking hit. Trust me, she's pretty solid in the defensive ability without having Fortify activated. And then when she does have Fortify activated, well, she can take quite a lot of hits, right? To counteract her bad damage taking ability, or not bad damage taking, but the fact that she does take damage, right, from her trainer move, she has Moonlight to counteract that, which restores HP by 50%, heals more HP when in sun and less HP when in any other weather condition. Fair enough. She's got Moonblast for mostly DPS, I think. You could also debuff special attack with it, which is fine, which, you know, considering that we just talked about Signa Suit May, or not, sorry, Anniversary May, there you go. You got that option as well. You can use Dawn here for a little bit of special attack debuffing, if you want to. And then Confusion here with a chance to leave the enemy confused. Big whoop. So again, going into her passive skills here, she has Fortify 3, as we talked about. She has Team Brainstorm 9, which increases special moves next of all allies by 1 when the user's Pokemon uses a status move while its HP is at half or below. So pretty much essentially, whenever you heal up from half HP by using Moonlight. That's essentially when you get that buff to your special moves next, but of course you do have to be below half HP, and you have to have used Moonlight. So it's a little bit restricted to get that special moves next, but it's fine. That's not a bad buff. And then Sync Damage Guard, applying Damage Guard on using her Sync move. That is very helpful as well to make sure that she's even bulkier. Very, very useful. Speaking of her Sync move, oh boy, this is a big one. It's like Professor Sycamore and Xerneas. I think these are the two... Are they the only two sync pairs that have an effect on their sync move that's like they don't do damage, but they do a lot of buffing? There might be another one I'm forgetting, but I think these two are it. Either way, whatever. She restores HP other than the user's... Restores the HP of all allied sync pair other than the user by 20% of the maximum. The higher the user's move level, the higher the HP percentage is. Each additional move level increases the HP amount restored by 5%. Maximum HP restoration is 40% of maximum. Removes status conditions from all allies. Removes Confusion, Trap, and Flinch, as well as charging the move gauge by 6. Pretty good. Restores HP other than users by 20%. Okay, so this doesn't... Okay, so it doesn't restore her own HP, which is weird, but either way, that's not bad. So you're able to restore 40% of ally HP depending on what the move level is. If you're at 3 out of 5, it'll be 30%, 5 out of 5, 40%, etc. But at base, obviously, it'll be 20%, which is still pretty good. It's like the equivalent of Synchro Healing, but it's effectively for free because you're using her Sync move as a support EX anyway. You're not trying to do damage, really. This is good. Other than that, you obviously get the Sync Damage Guard, which is very helpful there. And she has the Sprint EX roll, so if you do want to give that to her, which just is really a speed buff as well as some HP, that's mostly it. She does get offenses as well, I guess, but like, come on. You're not going to do DPS, probably. But other than that, like, you're able to get the -3 sync countdown. You're able to get this damage guard from Sync Damage Guard and the HP increase on allies and the gauge charge, right? So she's very good with gauge, defensive buffing, ally healing, healing herself, tanking in general, as well as that -3 sync countdown from the sprint roll. Very, very strong. Honestly, though, wouldn't have minded if they would have given her the Field EX roll, but I'm not going to complain, honestly. This is still really good. Definitely better than Tech or Strike, especially Strike. That Striker Sync move going to go hard for a character that doesn't hit the enemy. Okay, whatever. Everywhere at the grid, she doesn't really have anything at 1 out of 5. 2 out of 5, she gets Confusion Aggravation 2. No, she gets that at 1 out of 5. I'm blind. She gets Confusion Aggravation 2 at 1 out of 5, giving her a 30% chance to confuse the enemy. That's fine. Mostly just if you need like a status change on the enemy. I wouldn't rely on it to be a godly ability or anything. 2 out of 5, she gets Crisis Countdown 9, reducing Sync Countdown by 1 when HP drops to half or below each battle. First time each battle, rather. That's very, very strong. Just -1 Sync Countdown effectively for doing what she was already going to do anyway. That's pretty good. She has Train with NPR for being able to max out defenses as well as take extra damage, I guess. Moonblast on a roll 1 for that 60% chance to debuff special attack. Again, useful if you do need to debuff enemy special attack, but also do consider she's not really a gauge management support. She does buff gauge pretty much to max, well, literally to max, with her sync move, but other than that, she's not really super gauge effective. So you've got to be careful with how you're using your gauges, right? You got to be conservative. or at least, you know, maybe just bring a character that doesn't really care about gauge management. So that could work too. Yeah, that's pretty much it here. But the crisis countdown good, and the honor roll is also good. I wouldn't say the trainer move is really all that crazy because, again, you are also taking a lot of damage with her. So I mean, get your defensive buffs in, but like if you're at like 20% HP, I'm not gonna say it's gonna matter all that much. So just be careful, I suppose. 3 out of 5, she gets Adrenaline 1 and Sync Regen, Endurance, Sync Heal Refill, Master Healer on Moonlight, Catalyzing Recovery on Moonlight, another Crisis Countdown 9, Ramped Up on the Trainer Move, Danger Damage Guard, and Desperate Team Freebie. Oh boy, these are a lot of good nodes. She's able to use Endurance to obviously keep herself from dying whenever she drops down to 1 HP, which could be very vital, because imagine you drop down to half HP or below half HP, you're very close to fainting, they use like a close combat or a hyper beam or any like powerful move on her, she gets down to 1 HP, but then you use Moonlight, heal back up, you'll probably be fine for your next few attacks, right? At that point, you'll be fine. So this Endurance could be very, very vital to pretty much saving her from going down. Adrenaline 1, combine that with Crisis Countdown and the Sprint EX roll, and this character could be absurd for sync countdown strategies, right? Like, if you want to drop down to below 50% HP, like turn 1 to 3 before you use your first sync move, you could do that pretty easily. Get that sync countdown down. You can get down to below half HP, get the sync countdown from the crisis countdowns by -2, run her with like Head Start 1 or an ally that can remove sync countdown by like -1 at least, and then probably by turn 3 you'll have your sync move, right? You'll be able to effectively skip a whole turn by just using these crisis countdowns. You'll get to her sync move, use her sync move, get the Sprint EX, even more sync countdown, plus Adrenaline 1 for even more sync countdown. And again, you could opt to run Head Start 1 or Adrenaline 1 as a lucky skill, because thank you, lucky skill slots, and you've got even more stuff. So this character's obviously got great defensive utility, as well as obviously having a ton of sync countdown, which is great for support, for sure. She's got Sync Heal Refill, which restores MP to moves that have the healing effect on the sync move, so obviously more healing for your Moonlight. Very, very good to make sure she stays healthy. Catalyzing Recovery on Moonlight for gauge acceleration. That's just helpful if you do really need a good gauge management support. Works out relatively well, especially because she also has the +6 gauge on the sync move, so she's just doing better at that job. Desperate Freebie, again, just another method of sync countdown if you want to pick it up. Damage Guard, giving her Damage Guard when she drops down to half HP is very, very helpful as well, because again, if you come into that situation where their next attack is a really hard-hitting move and you're at like 50, 40, 30% health and you're really scared that you won't be able to take it, you've got this Damage Guard, it could save your life. Very, very helpful, especially because you also get that other Damage Guard on the sync move, so you've got even more Damage Guard, even more defensive utility, and just very, very good defenses in general. And then Trainer Move all ramped up 1 for +1 sync counter, for +1 special attack when using the trainer move, makes her a little bit more of an offensive support than a defensive one, which could be helpful. I don't know what grade you would really want to build with her, because she has a lot of great abilities. I would say it really just depends on what the battle's like. Sync Heal Refill is amazing for Gauntlet, Moonlight, and Catalyzing Recovery, also great for the Gauntlet. All ramped up 1 could be good for a special attack, right? Danger Damage Guard is great for more defensive profile, as well as Endurance. These abilities could go really, really well together to save you from some very, very strong attacks that could potentially just destroy you. Desperate Team Freebie, and again, Catalyzing Recovery for even more gauge acceleration and gauge management. All extremely useful abilities. It just really depends on what you're fighting. Like, if I was to go for Stadium for her, I would probably give her Crisis Countdown, and then probably pick up the cheapest thing to get out of here, and then I would go to probably Danger Damage Guard, and then pick that up. Honestly, I think that's probably the thing that I would want to go for. I would also want to go for Adrenaline, but clearly bad on energy, so maybe I would just have to get rid of like 1 Crisis Countdown, and then find another way to make that work. Other than that, though, maybe just get rid of the Danger Damage Guard. I don't know. Either way, I think she's got a lot of good... Yeah, and then pick up maybe the Endurance. Yeah, I think this would probably be something that I could go for. Yeah, I like this. Either way, she's got a pretty great grid. You can make a lot of stuff work. Just a lot of different things that she's able to do here. And her 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5 nodes make her look a lot better as well. She gets Impervious, which stat immunity debuff, or stat debuff immunity is quite good. Just universally, very nice for a lot of stadiums that debuff your stats, or gauntlets that debuff your stats. Any stage that wants to debuff you, Impervious is useful for. Team Grand Entry 2, raising special attack of all allies by 2 on entry. Combine this with all ramped up on the trainer move, and you can get your allies to +4 special attack. Again, making her a better offensive support now at that point, which is still quite helpful. 5 out of 5, she gets midpoint mend 4, restoring HP by 40% when dropping half or below. It's essentially a first aid 4, but it drops at, you get it at half HP instead of in a pinch, which is like 33% HP or something like that, 30%, around that area. And one of her best nodes, Trainer Move Team Smart Command 9, giving her team special moves next, effectively for free just by using the Trainer Move. And again, she still gets +1 special moves next to all allies when she uses her healing move when dropping below half HP. So, even more special moves next from that way. She's able to become now from a defensive support that's able to really have a lot of good methods to keep herself and her allies for the most part. I guess her allies, yeah. She's able to keep her allies and herself alive. She now is able to pretty much send her allies, or put her allies on the offensive with her ability to buff special attack. Already had her ability to buff crit, as well as applying a lot of special moves next from her Trainer Move and Team Brainstorm 9 passive skill. So, her grid is good. Her grid has so much good stuff that you can pick up that, like, I could see people making, like, 4, 5, 6 different grids that is effective for this character, because she is just so good in so much different content, really. Like, you can bring her in the stadium, and she can take these pretty high-powered attacks with, I'm not going to say ease, but she'll be able to take them quite effectively, especially with all the damage guards and endurance and whatnot that she has, because endurance is definitely more useful for shorter battles. You can also bring her into the gauntlet, and she's already so bulky with her base defensive stats. 308 defense is quite solid, plus the HP with the Sprint EX roll, assuming that you have that. But you're also already buffing your defenses here. You're able to have 3 uses of Moonlight if you pick up Sync Heal Refill, Midpoint Mend, so you don't even have to waste a Moonlight, and then you're able to do actually consistent damage with Moonblast. This character is insane for, like, probably insane. Probably pretty insane for, like, Gauntlet solos. I would expect that she has at least a few, right? I mean, she's got just the bulk and utility to outlive a lot of her enemies, I would say anyway. Especially now with the Sprint EX roll, I think that would help her out a bit, because the stat buffs are probably going to be relatively helpful. 20 stats in special attack and attack, that's pretty decent. Why is her attack better than her special attack? Okay, sure, buddy. This is a Shauna moment. But whatever, either way, yeah. So Signa Suit Dawn and Signa Suit May are both good. Signa Suit May is great for setting psychic terrain, debuffing special attack, doing good damage, and a good nuke in general, and extending psychic terrain with the Field EX roll. Dawn is a great defensive support, making sure that her allies can stay healthy, especially with her sync move effect, right? As well as being able to do other utilities such as buffing ally special attacks, special moves next being really good as well. It's potentially like debuffing special attack with Moonblast on a roll, Confusion with Confusion Aggravation, but mostly defenses, right? She's able to buff defenses, she's able to keep herself and her allies healthy with her sync move and her own healing abilities with Moonlight, and just being very solid in that aspect as well. So both of these characters are very, very strong, very, very useful, and if you do want to go for a top score in the high score event, because we do have those new medals and whatnot, right, for the like top 1, top 10, top 100, then like 1,000, 5,000, something like that. There's new medals for how high you place in the high score event. So if you want to go for like a higher place medal, this banner is very, very valuable to you. Both of these characters gain a lot from their dupes. May mostly at 3 out of 5 plus the EX roll, and then Dawn at 5 out of 5 is really, really good still with her EX roll as well. So if you want to go for them both, I definitely respect it, because not only does Dawn gain good stuff from her sync nodes, but she also gains, from her sync nodes at 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5, but she also gains the extra HP buff as well on the sync move. So that was already a really good reason to go for 5 out of 5 on her. But I digress. Both very, very good characters. Be sure to pick them up if you like them, and if you really, really want to place well in the Psychic High Score event. I wouldn't say they're really worth going for with everything going on right now, especially, you know, Gita and Silver. I think Steven might still be up. I think he's up until the March 10th, right? So he's still got very, very good value. He's a very, very good Psychic type sync pair, especially for this event as well. So keep that in mind. But yeah, whatever. I'll end the video there. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know if you're going to be summoning for this double Psychic High Score event, feature Pokemonmaster Scout, whatever it's called. And good luck. And yeah, I'll see you all later.